Ready to dance?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Do you want a minute?
Fucking hell, chicken.
So, welcome to the BU podcast. This podcast is designed to open up professionals around their life, challenges, and to have more vulnerable conversations. This week, I'm with a fellow friend, and you're probably the longest standing connection, and seen me go through a couple of girlfriends and supported me. But welcome.
Cheers, dude.
Nice to be here.
Between me and you, I am absolutely shitting my chippy tits.
And obviously, you've done all the branding for me.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So, if anyone doesn't know who you are, loads of talk about. If anyone doesn't know who you are, could you just give a quick introduction to who you are?
So I'm Danny, Mr. Danny PT. I'm 35.
It's like it's a blind date.
I'm an absolute misfit. And for most of my life, I felt like I've been dropped on the wrong planet.
or turned upside down. But
yeah. But I always find it difficult to answer that question because how do you answer it? You don't want to just talk about the work that you do.
Excuse me.
So it's going to be an interesting podcast.
So really, what do you do though? The professional answer.
So I've recently pivoted what I do. So I started out on LinkedIn as a graphic designer.
Dan the man.
Bannerman Dan.
Yeah, Bannerman Dan.
And then I moved to LinkedIn profiles. But now I'm in a space where I help businesses with the visual branding, the positioning, and creating buyer-led content strategies. Yeah. And then I've also co-founded the other business.
A lot then.
A lot, man. Yeah.
Let's get into it then. Excuse me. So let's get into it then. I know you, so this is gonna be really interesting to find out actually probably a lot more about you that I haven't seen. I see LinkedIn Dan, a close friend of mine, and it's gonna be nice just to see a bit more of the information. So what I want to touch on, obviously, ADHD, Autism and ADHD. Yeah. We'll talk about the diagnosis later in, but tell us a little bit about you growing up. What was that like for you?
It's very tricky to answer because for most of my life, I didn't know about my diagnosis. Yeah. And growing up, I always thought, why am I different to everyone else? Yeah. Why do I get nervous all the time? Why am I full of anxiety? Why have I no energy levels? But that said, I still had a good childhood. I'd grown up on a council estate. We was always out.
Where was that?
It was in a place called Shadsworth in Blackburn.
Okay.
And it was great. Like, you could just go in a neighbour's house. He would leave the door open.
That's the kind of old school ways, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. You know, we'd be climbing trees, playing Kirby.
I love that game.
Garden hopping. So I had a really good childhood, and I didn't know anything beyond the council estate. So I loved it. Yeah, it was great.
So tell us about that then. Like, growing up, what you've got two brothers, sorry?
So I've got a brother, and then I've got a sister.
Okay.
But they're both half. So my brother's with my mum.
Okay.
And then my sister with my dad.
Okay. Yeah. So growing up then, what was the sort of, is there a big age gap? I love a grap. Big age gap between, what's the age differences then from?
So between me and my brother is 14 years.
Okay.
So big gap.
That's a big gap then.
And then with Caitlin, 10 years.
10 years. Okay. So you're the oldest. Mm-hmm. Okay. The one that sets example.
Yeah. Try to. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about actually growing up then. What was it like for you at school then? So we all know being neurodivergent, we want to fit in with everyone. We want to hang around and be liked. What was it like for you at school?
So my memories are more so with high school, but I was quite lucky because my group of friends were the popular people
Okay, so you were with the popular people then.
Yeah, so I didn't
show off.
But even though I was the quiet one, I had a really good group of friends that made me feel more seen than I actually did.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I mean, the way they would speak to girls or other people outside of our friendship group would be really natural, but for me, I couldn't do it, dude.
But did you then find that you masked quite a lot to fit in, or could you?
Well, you have to,
so you wouldn't be. Obviously, you're a different person how you are back as a child, because obviously you understand yourself. But that must be to hang around with the popular. I've from my experiences, hang around with popular kids. Or I was kind of I had ginger and glasses. It wasn't really the best look at school, but that must be quite. Being with the popular, did you feel popular? Did they make you feel confident? Is that why you gravitated towards them because they were at the top and they're well liked?
No, so where I grew up, and when I left primary school and then went to high school, a lot of those popular friends lived in my area anyway.
Oh, okay.
So it was just because we was in the same area, it made sense to be their friends.
Okay, so popular at school. That must
friend group was
friend. Did you ever then? What was your school reports like then? Because I've speaking to a lot of neurodivergent individuals, that the same school report crops up time and time again. If only he applied himself, only if he's listening, could do better, blah, 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 the standard. So what I'm really interested in is the autism side, how that, which we'll go into later in the podcast, but what was your reports like?
Well, even though I'm diagnosed with autism and ADHD, they're not separate for me. It's just one. So my school reports was he's got potential.
Okay.
He lacks focus.
Right.
He's got potential. He never listens. He's got potential. He didn't do his homework.
Right. And what were the kind of the favourite lessons that you excelled in?
It was engineering.
Okay.
PE.
Creative.
And maths.
Okay.
I didn't really do anything creative.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there wasn't many options apart from, drama and music, which I wanted to do music, but I pulled out the main electrics. And
what, just everyone get a free day off out of school?
Yeah, so I got in a lot of trouble and kicked out.
Oh, it's from doing that?
Yeah.
Was you a bit of a rebel then, would you say, at school?
No, I was... Apart from that, all in all, I was really good. But I think because looking back now, because I couldn't get the attention like other people could naturally, I would have to be the clown. I'd have to do something stupid to get to get people's attention because I couldn't hold out a conversation. I couldn't speak to a stranger. If I was playing football in the council estate, I'd be really good. But you put me in the football team at school on a bigger pitch with more people. Yeah. I just couldn't do it. So me being silly and stupid was my way of getting attention. That
I can relate to that because that is the same thing for me. It is class clown, wanting to make people laugh. And I think what happens then is that you're branded with all these Joker titles, clowns, laughs and stuff like that. But the challenge you have is that you feel like where everyone sees you as the clown and joker, that you feel like you have to be that clown and joker all the time, even at school. So even if you didn't want to be a joker, you feel like people expect it. So that must be quite painful not painful, but that must be quite a challenge to always come up with something to be funny, to be joked, and...
Very different for me compared to you because you're more elusive with your ADHD. Yeah, I'm inattentive ADHD.
Yeah.
So if I be the clown of the class, I don't just get up and dance and be the centre of the spotlight of attention. I have to think of other ways.
So instead of being a centre of attention, your way of funny is turn the Wi-Fi off and no one knows because it's quiet. It's not like a spotlight on you.
Or we was in assembly the one day and I had them watches that could turn off the TV.
Oh, right.
And they was doing a presentation. and every time the head teacher got to the certain paragraph, I go, ba-dum.
Yeah.
And someone spotted me doing that, and I got in a lot of trouble. But that was my way of like, because everyone that
Danny would do it. Everyone didn't want to like that.
Yeah.
No one else wanted to do it, but Danny would do it. Danny do it.
So
Get Danny
stuff
do
like
it.
that. Yeah.
Has there ever been a point in school where you've got really? Was you ever trouble at school? Was you ever not trouble? You didn't get expelled?
Never got expelled. No.
Okay.
I think I got detention once.
So you're quite well behaved.
No, I was. Yeah.
And
I was very polite. I would always use my manners. I would always open the door for people. You know, I was the best of a bad bunch, considering where I grew up.
Yeah. And at that period of time in your life, parents, mum and dad,
split when I was 6.
So you're 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember any of that at all?
Not much, which is quite sad.
Really?
Just the arguing.
And that, did you find that quite difficult then? Obviously you didn't know about being diagnosed with because of the routine, the routine, the structure, that must have thrown you off.
No, I don't remember it.
Really?
I think depending on people's past, if it's good or, you know, when it's bad, we tend to block it out. And it's very difficult to go back there. But I've only got 2 memories, really. That was them arguing, and then the one day my mum was out and me and my dad was in the garden, and he went down a plastic slide,
right,
and he snapped his ankle. And he was screaming, trying to crawl back to the house, and he's telling me to ring an ambulance. But because I was only maybe 5 at the time, I didn't know what to do. So I had to watch him crawl all the way through the house, pick up the phone. Yeah. And then the ambulance came to get him. I don't remember anything else.
Right. So do you have any memories of then, child, or do you kind of you've kind of blocked that out then, or?
Yeah, must have done.
Yeah. That must be quite painful.
It's sad though as well, because I've not purposely done it. It's subconsciously. Yeah. So it's sad that I don't have those memories, but my stepdad, what an incredible man. You know.
Yeah, 'cause I know you're quite close to him.
Yeah, he met my mum when I think I was maybe 7 or 8, and he took me on as his own. And what a gentleman! What a man to strive to be. Yeah.
Do you look up to him then?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
I always say to him, I've got my dad.
Yeah.
Which I do. But in terms of
like a father figure,
it's very difficult to say that because I've got a relationship with my dad, who's also my father figure.
Right. Okay.
But Paul was the man of the house.
Yeah.
You know, because I lived in that environment. What an incredible guy. Still is to this day, considering he's going through a lot of shit. What a guy. And
we're gonna touch in at some point of that. Okay, so Danny, let's fast forward a little bit then. Danny, popular at school.
High school, this was.
High school. Yeah. Okay, so high school would be to 16, would that? Sorry. Yeah, 16. What does it like then going into your 18s, and what was that like for you? Because obviously you're doing very well, whatever. Did it really change for you then when you were introduced to maybe alcohol or that kind of? Because when we're all 18, suddenly we want to go, I'm going out now, we're 18.
We drank during school, but, you know, the group of friends at school, we'd all meet in the forest and we'd take the music box. It was always good. But when I left school, I started electrical engineering at college. And I was there for 2 years, but then you form a new group of friends and you sway away from the ones that you've spent all your life growing up with. But these group of friends was only my friends in college because they lived in Bolton. Right. But I did that for 2 years, but same again. I was no smarter. I couldn't listen. I couldn't focus. But because the tutor, my mum worked at the college at the time. Right, okay. Because the tutor knew my mum, he gave me good grades.
Oh, so just because you
I'd not really earned my stripes. So then when I'd left that, I did one day at uni. And I thought, fuck, like, I've absolutely winged it. I've got a new tutor now, not friends with me mum.
Yeah, yeah.
So I lasted one day.
So went into university and was like, nah, not for me.
Yeah, because I knew he'd been helping me out.
Right. So that must be quite... Do you feel like a bit of a cheat?
Looking back, no. My way of learning's not sitting still.
No.
In a class. I'm very fast paced.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like I've learnt more during starting a business than I probably have with the rest of my work combined.
Yeah, I can imagine it just being being a bit of a relearning it all, and you probably have to. And like we're going to come to diagnosis in a bit, but I think at that point you relearn yourself. You're really learning about absolutely everything. It's like you're going back as a child.
Yeah.
To relearn all this. I've got ADHD, I've got autism, I've got whatever, and you're then going back thinking, well, okay, well, X made sense, X made sense, X, Y, Z made sense. So now I've got to go back now and retrain myself.
But you asked, like, my 18s, it was a really shitty part. I think we've spoke about this before, and I left school and your group of friends, they start college to do their own studies. So you're no longer in that group. And because my college friends was just my friends in college, I then started to associate with people in the area that I grew up. But I was always naturally swayed towards people who need help. So it could be someone who's vulnerable. It could be somebody who was neurodivergent looking back, but I didn't know. Somebody who's got it a bit rough. I always enjoyed helping and being supportive for those type of people.
Because you've got a lot of empathy.
But the downside is then you start to associate with the wrong group.
Okay.
So what that meant is I never wanted to be at home because me and my mum, we clashed all the time.
Okay. And why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think she's not
neurodivergent.
I think she is. Yeah, I've told her this because he's my stepbrother, but I call him my brother.
Okay.
He means the world to me. But he was diagnosed with Asperger's at 3.
Right.
His dad's neurotypical.
Okay.
And then I got my diagnosis at 31, and my dad's neurotypical.
Okay.
And looking back at my mum, growing up, she was really strict with me, but she did the best she could.
Yeah.
And looking back at everything, I see a lot of myself in that.
Right.
And I think she's been wrongly diagnosed throughout her life with like depression, some other stuff.
Yeah.
And then if you try fixing the wrong problem, it makes it worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just clashed.
Do you think it's because you're just too similar?
She saw a lot of my dad in me. She always used to say that, and they ended the relationship really bad.
That must be quite hard hitting then, hearing about you obviously you got a relationship with your dad, you got a relationship with your mum. Obviously the split when you're 6, that's never that when you're younger and obviously not remembering. I know you don't want to remember it or whatever reason, but that must be quite hard hitting for you as an individual. And then obviously these parts now where your mum's saying to you, I see your dad in you, that must feel quite, you must take it to process.
It was frustrating because obviously can I swear?
Yeah.
Obviously you're going to see my fucking dad in me, like, he's my dad.
Yeah,
he's genetically my dad.
Yeah.
But whatever went on with them, I reminded her, I don't know if it was looks, certain characteristics, my personality. So there was always tension. But going back to when I was 17, 18, I associated with the wrong people, and I never wanted to be at home. So I would go home really late every night, and it pissed my mum off. That over a period of time, so she kicked me out.
Oh, right, okay. So that, and if you don't mind me asking, the 18-year-old Danny, association with bad people, because we all want to be liked and we hang around with people. Did that involve drinks, drugs, and any kind of elements there with addiction?
Yeah, so I felt like I had nowhere to go. I was in a really bad place, but I ended up moving in with my auntie on my dad's side.
Right.
I'm not close with that side of the family. And my cousin, her son, been to prison,
Right.
always associated with the wrong people.
Do you think that could be neurodivergent as well? With the
No, I don't know. But I grown up with him, and when I've moved in, I was in his friends' company, him and his friends. So that would mean smoking weeds,
Right, okay.
taking other drugs. But then that compounded. I lost my job. I got really bad anxiety. I'd sold my car just so I could buy more drugs. So then I had no vehicle, and
Blimey, so you was addicted.
I was not addicted. I was rejected from my family.
Okay.
And because of that rejection,
And just a sort of quick step in there, you rebelled against your mum, or for kicking you out. So you was in a dark place because, as we know, the rejection sensitive dysphoria, absolutely crippling. I've been kicked out,
but not even the RSD, dude.
It was just being kicked out and being rejected by your mum, and you just thought, well, I'm in such a bad place that the only way to really cope with any of these feelings or emotions I'm feeling, because obviously being autistic, which is another deeper level of processing, which I'm going to come to later, but you just thought, well, I can only cope with the drinks and the drugs.
What you've got to bear in mind, I didn't know why I was different. That's one thing.
Yeah, okay.
And that in itself, it's really fucking difficult when you don't know why you can't look somebody in the eye, or you don't know why you can't speak to a girl, or you don't know why when you're in certain environments you just want to go to bed because it makes you feel tired.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was that element. There was the rejection of my family, and then there was associating myself with people who was into crime and drugs.
Right.
Now, when I was in that place, I didn't want to see the family that I'd grown up with, even my grandma and granddad, who I was really close with. So it got to a point where I was breaking into cars to take the sat off the dash to be able to sell it for £5.
Was there an influence from these types of people that do the crime, where you sort of monkey see, monkey do? You saw them creating crime or doing this, so you thought, well, I'm hanging around with these popular people, so I have to fit in, so I have to do.
No, it's not even that. I think naturally you are the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah, so you're just fitting in, really.
But it got really bad, so I was doing that, and then
how do you not have any sort of what's the right word? I'm trying to think of the right word now. When you go to court and there's remorse, do you not think that do you even want to break into these cars? Or is it because someone's egging you on? It just wanted to buy the weed or the...
I've no money. So I need to eat.
Really?
Yeah.
It was that bad?
Yeah, it was that bad, yeah. Really bad. Hell. Because my aunt who I lived with, she's single, she works part-time at the spa. She couldn't really afford to put food in the fridge. The only thing that she would bring back would be a panini that's going to go out of date, and it's always the same shit one that people don't buy. So it was really difficult, and I think the tipping point for me, this went on for about 6 months.
Right. And when you're 19 or 20?
I would have been 19. But the tipping point for me is the one night we went out in town, and they were all looking for trouble, and I was never like that. And we gone in the town centre, and they started a fight with these group of people, and I just walked away. They all got arrested, and I was on my own, and I broke down, and I thought, I can't fucking do this anymore. I really can't. And my dad had just bought me a car, £200, a Ford Escort, maroon Ford Escort. It was on a P-Reg. It drove like a dream. But I remember I lived in my car for a week because I was that petrified to go back to the house, because I knew I was a stone throw away from being a drug addict and homeless, like setting myself up for life and going down the wrong path. And I remember breaking down, and I'd spoke to one of the friends who had just moved to Blackpool with his mum and dad, and he spoke to his mum, and I got the opportunity to be able to get out of that environment, and then I moved to Blackpool.
That must have been a bit of a chance from a higher power, because
he saved my life.
Have you ever been down the thoughts of, we all know where the drugs and the drink and excessive amounts that it's instant gratification and then the depressive drops. Have you ever been in a situation where you didn't want to be here anymore, or any suicidal ideation with the darker side, where you're going into stealing sat-navs and whatnot and trying to make ends meet? There must have been a time where you've feeling this hard emotion where you didn't want to be here anymore.
No, I've never wanted to top myself.
Okay.
Never. But I remember when I'd moved to Blackpool, now my grandma and granddad, they gave me the best childhood you can possibly imagine. We'd always go for walks in the countryside, to buy me ice cream. We'd go Dunsop Bridge, buy me an omelette. That did take me everywhere. But when I'd moved to Blackpool, I'd not seen them for over a year. Bearing in mind that I used to see them 4 days a week. So they'd not seen me. And I remember driving to the house, and it was a big moment because I'd not seen my family for over a year.
Anxiety and
I walked in, and my grandma started crying, and she was like, "You look like a drug addict." She said, "You've lost so much weight." And I was like, fuck, that like really hit me. And it wasn't... So my granddad passed... My grandma passed away maybe 5 years ago. Granddad passed away a year and a bit ago. And it wasn't till he was on his deathbed we had a real conversation about life. I told him what happened in that period of my life, and he never knew.
And did you
never knew.
So did you feel like then at that point you wanted? Did you say he was on his deathbed, or did you say? But did he want to know then, or did you want to tell him just to some peace of mind, or?
There's something very powerful about speaking to somebody when they know death's coming, and they're ready for that, because you end up having the most beautiful and open conversation. Like he could only have that conversation with me about, I want to be with grandma now. I've had enough. And we shared stories of our lives with each other. And it was really powerful. But I'm glad I got to tell him, because he never knew what happened in that part of my life.
Yeah. Do you think then with your nan, obviously your nan and granddad, they brought you up and whatever. Well, not brought you up, but they looked after you.
Yeah, my mum did the absolute best she could. Even when she was a single parent, she was working 3 jobs just to be able to pay the bills. And she always bought me nice stuff, and I was never without. She did her absolute best.
Do you think then, how long was your grandparents married then?
You've got ADHD. That was such a random question.
Yeah.
65 years.
Really?
Maybe.
So that must have been quite tough when your nan passed, for your granddad to be there. Was you there for him?
Yeah, it was horrible, because grandma had vascular dementia for 7 years, but...
And what's vascular dementia? Sorry.
Fast.
Oh, so like a rapid, then normal dementia.
Yeah, so she had an accident, which she was less mobile because of. Okay. Because she was less mobile, she then had a stroke. And then when she had the stroke, this Alzheimer's must have been dormant. But I remember when she first went to the home, she maybe been there 6 months, it was coronavirus.
Right.
We couldn't even see her. She had vascular dementia.
That must have been...
The only way that we could see her is driving outside and waving at her through the window.
That must be tough.
So that went on for 6 years. Then my granddad got COPD. There was a bit of a crossover. But maybe the last 2 years of grandma being alive, that's when my mum started with memory loss problems.
We're gonna come into that.
And then obviously my dad's got a story in himself as well.
Yeah, we're going to touch on that as well. So hopefully I've got enough time.
I know.
So we'll move on, but come back to what we just said then. You mentioned that obviously you were drugs, mostly weed, I assume, or everything, just everything. Yeah. Okay. So weed, other stuff, stealing sat-navs, getting to the point where you're going to your nan and your nan's going, "You look like a drug addict," which must have hurt from parents, from
your grandparents. It in a loving way.
Yeah. You need help.
Yeah.
So what was the moment then to change your life around? Or what have you done since that moment, that penny drop? Was it because of your nan saying that you thought, I don't want to have this life anymore, I'm changing it?
There wasn't a penny drop moment. I think when you've been somewhere that you never want to be, where you never want to go again before, you'll do whatever you can. So if that's the case, you're always going to either move on a linear or things are going to gradually get better. Now, when I was in Blackpool, I was a chef, a microwave chef. I worked for the carvery. But I met a girl who became a girlfriend. And
at the carvery?
Well, she used to drink in the pub, so I used to drink there on the weekend. And my lifestyle was different now because I had really good friends. They were smart, they were self-employed, they were older than me. Some had kids, some was married. However, my relationship wasn't great. It was very, very toxic. So
this is your first proper girlfriend, would you say?
No, my second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that then. Tell us a little bit how you just mentioned that we've all been in toxic relationships that are send you down.
I don't want to talk about that.
No. Okay, that's fair enough. We'll move on.
Just for respect of her, and yeah, it wasn't good. It really wasn't good. Like I put it one way. At the end of it, I was a shell of myself.
Well, I was just about to say, has that had a knock-on effect in your more adult life, or do you feel like you're over? It took a long period to get over that, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, without going into too much detail, she was very insecure. So even like when I'd speak to her friends, she'd kick off about it. So it got onto a point where I couldn't. I mean, I was already neurodivergent, but I really wouldn't look at her friends in the eyes. You know, like
and that must
she made me feel that way. Yeah,
and you tread on eggshells.
Yeah,
really.
She would be out with a group of lads all the time on the girls, which I was perfectly fine with. But anyway, I don't want to go into that because But it was a really shit 5 years.
Okay, that makes sense.
So even though I got out of this environment of what I was in, things got better in a sense, but I was so fucking lost.
Do you think, I'm not going to go into that, but do you think that you hold a lot of your emotions in? And the sort of follow-up question with that would be is, how do you deal with your emotions?
It's a good question because I've got alexithymia. We spoke about
this. Yeah, that's something. You'd be able to elaborate on that.
Yeah, so when it comes to my own emotions, I can't tell you. Obviously, I can tell you if I'm happy or sad.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you if I'm frustrated with something or if I'm just burnt out.
And you'd make a perfect poker player.
For me, for me, it's basically just energy levels.
Okay, so you could be really happy and still be really sad and still have the same.
No, it's. For example, if I'm working really hard because I'm a bit of a work addict, there will be no build-up to burnout for me.
Okay.
There'll be no indication.
Right.
I just get burnt out. Whereas with most people, there'll be signs along the way.
Right, okay, right.
Yeah, does that make sense? So if someone says to you, how are you feeling?
I don't know.
If I'm really bad, shit. If I'm really good, good. But I can't tell you anything else. But when it's other people...
Yeah, you pick up on it.
If it's you...
Yeah.
If there's something off with you that most people wouldn't see...
You pick up on it.
I'd be like, hey, dude, like,
what's
going on?
Yeah, you don't...
I can feel it. It's so weird.
Do you think that's a bit of a success? Do you think that's helped you with life and people that you can pick up? Because I can pick up on, probably maybe not as deep as what you're saying, but I pick on people's vibes, wording, communication, how they speak. You can normally pick up on energies or with people upset.
I've got a short story. My mum used to be really into seeing spiritualists, you know, like people.
Yeah.
Like she'd go every week, but I remember my nan had died. My nan was my granddad's mum, but she reminded me of the lady of Titanic. You know, the old lady. It's been 84 years.
Yeah.
So I used to sing Titanic.
Go on then.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen that like flute version of it?
Yeah.
That's how I sing it. That's so out of fucking tune. But I used to sing it in my bedroom to her. And this one night I was laid in bed, and as I blinked, I got this real hard grab on my right shoulder. But anyway, it must have been a couple of months later. My mum had gone out and we had a babysitter, and it was back when we had tapes.
Right.
And there was a tape on the side, and it said spiritual reading something.
Yeah.
So I took it in my room, and I put it in the tape player. And this, bearing in mind, there's no internet then or nothing. The spiritualist says, it was my mum's nan, but I called her nan as well. She said, "Oh, but by the way, your nan, tell Daniel to stop singing Titanic."
On a tape.
Yeah. So it's way out of tune, but he would have got a grab on his right shoulder, and when he did, that was just to say she's there, she's with him. So I was like, "What the hell?" But
so she recorded that tape then? Sorry, I'm just.
They had the session recorded.
Oh, they recorded that session.
Yeah.
And then you've played the tape.
I've played the tape,
but you've had someone touch your shoulder prior playing the tape.
Yeah. So
that must have been.
So I've listened to that, and then this lady's going on that he's got a gift. He doesn't know what it is yet, but when he does, it's going to help a lot of people. So I've always been a bit on the fence with woo-woo because there's a lot of shit out there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of unexplainable stuff that's happened in my life where I think there's more to this world than this system that we're living in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think when you are neurodivergent, you're very much in tune with a lot of things. I think it's very much hypervigilant, seeing things. It's also understanding your emotion. I think because we love being with nature and being outside, and I don't know, I always find, and I want to come to the probably won't be enough time, but your creativeness, how creative you are, but I want to just quickly touch on this, is that I don't know if it with it than you, but you see things in a different way to everyone else.
Yeah, so it's very. So I'm a very big picture thinker, right?
Yeah,
I'm kind of like the Rain Man.
I
really am. Like I get my brain plugged into something and I can diagnose the shit out of it. But example with the guys that I'm working with, they'll be able to tell you that I can think broadly about something, but I can think very deeply at the same time, which it is very rare. So, I'm very analytical. I'm very logical. I remember numbers, patterns.
Do you think that's the autism?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But I'm very good with that stuff. But even the way I think's, the way I think, I don't have an inner voice. It's like a reel of pictures that move really fast and move and connect, and I can see them all. Whereas some people, when they think, it's in a dialogue. Yeah. So I just, dude, this last 5 years of starting my business, it's been transformative for me in terms of understanding who I am, and I'm really.
You're constantly growing.
Here,
You're constantly finding something. If it's the Stoic ways or stuff like that, you're just a bit. I think this is where the ADHD comes in. Is that you'll find something, because I know what you're like. You'll find something, hyperfixate on that, or hyperfocus and do so many hours. You find that thing, and you go to the next thing. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do Stone Island. Oh, I'm gonna do Fred Perry. Oh, I'm gonna do that. But then you're also, what you're very good at is that you've gone down an AI rabbit hole. And you're like, oh, I've just found about this out, and then you become the expert. Did you? How? The question really, what I want to get to is, what is autism and ADHD really like? Because being neurodivergent, I'm hyperactive, I'm too much, should we say? Or
that's why I see Tom every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it can be quite overwhelming for some people. But the hobbies. I'm going to buy this. You have all the ADHD symptoms, but how does and it's really hard. How does the autism pull that back? Because it must be quite energy burning from being inattentive, the sort of the anxiety and the depression you potentially have with the ADHD, but the autism must slow that down, and then it must be like a push and pull every day. How does it make you feel? Is it mentally draining?
We touched on this last night with Mark as well, but it's very difficult to answer that because autism in itself is a spectrum.
Okay.
And I had this conversation with you, like you can have somebody who will never be able to look after themselves. They'll never be able to have a job. they'll always have to be looked after. Then you've got somebody like myself who's able to live on his own with his partner, build a business. So when you say to me, what is it like with this autism and ADHD? It's not just one thing. It's a spectrum.
So you're combining all DHD. You're making it a one.
What I'm trying to say is, I believe everybody being like who's autistic being labelled as that is progress for now.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it needs to. It doesn't feel right as a diagnosis for me. So to answer your question, I can't answer it because I've lived the way I have all my life. I don't know any different. It would be like me saying to a neurotypical, can you explain to me what it's like being neurotypical? They'd be like, what the hell are you on about?
Yeah. Can you just explain you being you?
Because I have nothing to compare it to.
What makes you feel safe? Like we're gonna come to your mum in a minute. And then, like, it's going to be time by then. Anyway.
And my dad as well, his story.
Yeah, I want to come into that and the stuff that you're doing now as well. And quickly touch around Emma. There's so many questions, but let's get cracking with it. So, I've lost what I was going to say now. Yeah. So, I can't believe I've just lost what I was going to say. Autism, yeah, that's fine. And so, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I assume, from my understanding of autism, obviously the sensory overload, saw that last night, too loud, etc. Where is your safe place?
Home.
Really?
Yeah, I live in a beautiful village in Warwickshire.
The Shakespeare, darling.
Yeah, Shakespeare. Back in my garden, there's acres of land, there's sheep.
Yeah.
I work in the office at the bottom of the garden.
And I think you said before, It's
not as in feeling safe as I'm not scared.
No.
Safety zone. It's where I operate at my best. Yeah. You say the environment shapes who you are, which is so true.
Yeah.
I live in the countryside, dude. I love it.
Yeah. It's a dream. It's a neurodivergent dream.
If I'm working and I feel a little bit stressed, I just take my socks off and sit on the grass.
Yeah. You're grounding yourself. Yeah. Do you? Because I remember you saying that you do miss seeing people as well. You do.
Yeah, so there's a fine balance with it. All of my life I've been around people, whereas right now building the business in a little village in the middle of nowhere, I don't see people often. But I like being alone, and there's a big difference between one of the biggest things from my diagnosis is realizing that I'm not lonely.
Yeah.
I actually like to be alone.
Yes.
I never understood that before.
Yeah.
So I thought I was always going to be lonely. But it gets to a point, it might be 3 weeks without seeing someone, and I'm like, fuck.
I want to, and even saying hello to the postman, it's like, hello.
Yeah.
Hello, you don't go.
But it's just the way I am. But I can be around people, but it's like last night on our night out, we went to some places, it was loud music. I was like, fuck. No. I can't do this.
I've always found we sort of touched the lonely then. I've jumped from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship. And it's been very difficult because it feels like I'm doing a phone upgrade every 18 months. But no, I don't mean it. I'm not classing someone as a mobile phone.
I know.
But it then comes back down to the ADHD, like you lose the shiny new object that comes past. And I didn't realise that I actually enjoy. It's only when I moved back down that I actually enjoyed being on my own. It broke me for the first month when I called you, and I was like, I didn't know what to do, and I did too much. And I think I went for dinner on my own, went to cinema on my own, and I did all that and 3 things. And I called my mum and I was crying. I said, I need to come home, and I left 15 minutes in the film because
I remember that. Yeah,
it's so hard to not. You feel like you want to be on your own, but it takes a lot of work on yourself. I assume you've done a lot of work on yourself. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, no, I have. Yeah. So what's the question?
Sorry, what's the question? So no, I'm just going on there. So I'm just saying you've done a lot of work yourself. Okay, so let's go to quite a sensitive topic now. Your mum. I don't know when. I remember when was your mum diagnosed? Is it? So I get confused with dementia and Alzheimer's. They're the same thing, aren't they?
So, yeah, she was, first of all, she was wrongly diagnosed with alcohol-induced brain damage, which she was never an alcoholic.
She
used to drink socially.
Just a general drinker.
She'd run half marathons. She used to eat healthy food. She'd be out with the dog every day walking. And the doctor said that she'll probably get better. If she stops drinking, she's going to get better. But you don't realise with Alzheimer's gradually getting worse and worse, to the point of, she nearly crashed a car.
Right,
She has to have a licence revoked. She's been out of work. She worked for 20 years at college, and she's missed being out of work. She got made redundant at college. She's tried to do a job at Superdrug, and all the employees are laughing at her because she can't work the till, her brain. And she used to use a till every day.
And being neurodivergent, potentially.
Yeah, but which was very upsetting for her. And it wasn't till we'd pushed for another appointment with the doctors that it came back. It's Alzheimer's. But by this point, when we look back, she'd probably had it 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really shit. I can't have a conversation with her. If I call her, she'll just be like, "Oh, how's the dog?" But that said, I can't remember the name for it. A couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with her, and I cried after it because it's only happened once. It was like time got rewinded five years.
So
we could have a conversation. We're doing this at the weekend, and this, and it flowed. And at the end of it, I was like, "Fuck, that's my old mom." Like,
yeah, I bet that must be quite nice to see that.
Not like somebody coming back from the dead, but it's seeing a glimpse of somebody you're never going to see again.
That must have felt...
It was so upsetting, dude. So upsetting. But it was so... it was such an incredible experience and moment as well.
And obviously you've gone away with your mum and the dementia. I only know people that have had parents or grandparents with dementia, and
she's only 55.
That's so young.
And if she's had it 6 or 7 years.
Is that quite uncommon?
48.
Is it quite uncommon to do you think that's from your nan because she had dementia and
I'm not a specialist with this, but my logic is it was always dormant. Yeah, grandma had it. She's probably had it dormant, and I think what's triggered it is the fact she's lived the full life, not fully understanding who she is.
Yeah,
being wrongly diagnosed. Imagine you trying to live all of your life without your diagnosis and not understanding any of it. Fucking chaos, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got mixed in, when she was made redundant, she made the decision to take time out to see my grandma in the home, to look after my granddad, and being around that, as well as not as understanding yourself, and as well as not doing the job that you've been doing for the past 20 years, I think something's just...
And she's not at work now?
No. Well, she can't work
No. How, you talked about pattern recognition, picking up on things. Did you notice something with your mum, like prior with the years anyway, like as you were generally talking to her or going to see her? Did you sort of feel like something wasn't right anyway?
More so for me, because I lived in Warwickshire and she's Lancashire. You know, I don't see her that often, or I didn't. So when I did, I'd see that gradual progression in bigger timestamps. So I would see it. But everyone else did as well. Yeah. But we clinged on to the hope of it was alcohol-induced brain damage.
Yeah,
she might get better.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because if we would have knew from the first diagnosis, she could have taken medication, which she's on now, to slow the progression down.
But it's gone rapid.
But it's gone further down the line.
You talked about earlier in the podcast that your mum kicked you out when you was 18. And obviously you've built up a better relationship since over this period of time. Do you feel like you've made amends with your mum, or get back to a relationship that you've always wanted with her? or do you feel like there's small regrets that you didn't know about the dementia, and you wish that you could have done more to maybe make amends to have that better life? Or what would you feel?
That's a good question, dude.
Do you feel like you feel like you could maybe make amends with her more now, or because obviously you probably maybe you might have glimpsed like you sent, and then
you get to a certain age in life where you stop thinking about yourself and from your point of view, and you learn to be able to put yourself in the shoes of other people. And when you're able to do that, so I put myself in the shoes of my mum. Wow, that must have been tough. Must have been tough living all your life, being wrongly diagnosed with stuff. So there came a point in my life where there was no resent anymore. You know.
And was there a lot of resent throughout your
growing
life?
up? Yeah, because
Do you think you've ever forgive your mum for kicking you out?
100%. 100%. She didn't want to do it.
No.
But if she is neurodivergent, it must have been very difficult. One thing that I'll never be able to do, which I wish I could, is have that conversation with my mum.
Yeah, that's what
You know, I won't be able to, and that makes me sad. Yeah.
Tough. Especially when you have got a lot of maybe trauma, triggers.
Well, before they moved to where they are now, one of the biggest things is I was in the house one night. I was with my first girlfriend and my mum. My stepdad was working nights then, and my mum was in the kitchen. And somebody's walked past the house. We still lived in Shadsworth.
Yeah.
And they've chucked a concrete slab through the kitchen window, and it's nearly hit my mum, and it shook her. Now, the guy across the road had CCTV. My mum always blamed me for that. She said it was my fault. So my stepdad was still working nights. So when it came to nights, my mum was petrified of being on her own. She always blamed me for that. And it must have been 6-7 years later, I found out who it was. And he thought who lived at that house was my doppelganger, who was a bit of a shit. He was always in trouble.
Did you get an apology?
No, I think if Mum was able to think like she could have, she'd probably still think that was me. And only because out of all that stint of me moving to Blackpool, then I lived in Manchester. When I ended up moving back home for a short period, we was having a drink the one night, and something just flicked in her head, and it went back to that moment. She was really aggressive with me.
Really?
Yeah, so, which is frustrating because I never did anything wrong. So I think one of the biggest takes from my story is life would have been a hell of a lot different for me if I knew why I was different.
And when did you get diagnosed?
31, 4 years ago.
So 4 years ago. So you're 6.5. Okay.
On Star Wars Day.
Oh yeah, I remember it's May the 4th. Yeah.
Well, I went for the autism one, and when she told me I had inattentive ADHD, I was like, fuck.
Was that a bit of a penny drop moment for you then to make sense that the autism, I know because of X, Y, and Z, the ADHD, that makes sense of my past because of my experiences. Because I think sometimes when some people don't want to get a diagnosis, which is completely fine. Some people want the diagnosis to kind of feel like a weight's taken off their shoulders and be like, oh, I'm not blaming the ADHD or I'm not blaming the autism or any sort of neurodivergent mindset, but it now makes sense why I couldn't do this or go into a social setting, or I was going from hobbies, I was going to addictive tendencies, because all that makes sense. So it's kind of feeling like I'm not the only one, or so for you.
For me, it was a fucking massive epiphany moment.
It must have taken a bit of time to process that as well.
I know, it floored me for a couple of days, but the way I saw it is, it's changed everything.
Yeah.
It's changed nothing.
Yeah.
I'm still the same person.
Yeah.
So I believe with anyone who gets a diagnosis, it's the work you do after.
Yeah, and you've done a lot.
I worked with James Hanson, big shout out to James.
Yeah,
for
big James.
18 months. But I think one of the most powerful moments during my diagnosis is I had Emma sat next to me. And I'm talking to the lady who's doing a diagnosis, Caroline, and I said, there was a moment last year, I said, we went to Emma's mum and dad's for Christmas, and we was there for just over a week. I had no escape, dude. I didn't have my own space. So I felt overwhelmed. So when it got to Christmas Day and we went to Emma's sister's house, like meal, and we had drinks, and their family was there, it overwhelmed me so much that my battery was on zero, and I was on the couch on my phone.
Just trying to cope.
Just trying to cope. I had no escape route. I didn't know what was going on. We got home, back to Emma's mum and dad's that night, and she says, I can't believe how ignorant you was. I'd never do that at your family. And I cried, dude, with frustration, because it was fucking rude and I didn't know why it were happening.
Right.
So during this call, I told Caroline this little story, and she went, yeah, and she explained to Emma how my brain works.
Right.
You could see Emma fill up. Because there's been a lot of moments where even Emma had got frustrated with me. Not to that extent, but she's been fucking brilliant, dude. Since my diagnosis, I'm adamant she's got ADHD, but she's been fucking brilliant. Yeah. She's allowed me to be the man who I am now.
That must be a beautiful feeling. Yeah. Are you proud to be neurodivergent, or would you, going back maybe some of the autism and the ADHD, blame some of the behaviours? What I'm saying is that if you could go back, would you be neurotypical?
No, I'm who I am, dude.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things that I'd love to do that I don't want to do.
Right.
I'd love to be able to rock up in a club and bust out some dance moves like you. I'd love to be able to talk to a stranger on the street, you know. There's a lot of stuff that I'd like to be able to do that I don't want to do, and that's perfectly fine.
And you're happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy.
But we've got we've only got 5 minutes left. Goes so quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's some stuff that yeah, it's fine. What's some things that you've done a lot of work on yourself? You're obviously working with James is fantastic. Obviously,
brilliant guy.
Coach,
what a guy.
Coach. I think within the first sort of 10-15 seconds, you're like, yeah.
I'll say he's changed my life. And he'd be like, no, Danny, you've changed my life. And I'm like, yeah, but you fucking helped me change my life. He won't take the credit.
No, well, it's a typical no.
What an incredible guy. But, you know, it's the penny drop, not a penny drop, but the shift for me was Emma says you need to speak to a therapist because our relationship's bad. And I did.
When you say therapist, a relationship therapist?
A lot of trauma that happened in childhood, and the fact that I was neurodivergent. I had my diagnosis, but then what do you do with it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so I've got it. So where do I go?
So I've worked with James, and then things snowball. You get into the gym, start to eat healthy. You rescue a fucking batshit crazy Dalmatian that you walk with 5 miles a day. And then before you know it, your lifestyle's changed. You've moved house. You live in this. You work in this beautiful environment. You co-found a business with 3 incredible gentlemen who were like friends and guides. And it's all aggregation of marginal gains. It's not like you get your diagnosis and fuck, my life's changed.
You have to do the work. The work starts when you get diagnosed.
Even, it was like I told you when I came down here, I was packing my stuff. My toiletry bag was in Emma's car, in my gym bag. And it had all my nice aftershave in, my beard oil. It fucks me up for 10, 20 minutes. I have a meltdown.
Yeah, because it's your routine.
But the difference is now,
I
know I'm going to be like that for 20 minutes. It's going to be all right. Just go to Next and buy a £6 aftershave that smells like fucking shit.
So what things, I know you just co-founded a business, or correct me if I'm wrong, doing obviously bits you mentioned in the beginning. What are you looking forward to in the next sort of, what do you want to work on within, one, in yourself? What's something that that's still not there but you would like to improve on, and 2, what would you like to do professionally in the next 12 to 6 months?
Well, yeah.
Oh, my balls are hairy, not crystal.
But what a question. I don't work that way.
Okay, you don't work that way?
No, I don't work that way.
Do you live for the day like me?
I'm a big believer. There's a Stoic quote. I forget how to pronounce it. It's amor fati. I don't know, fati. And it basically says, like, you have to just go with the flow and trust with what's happening.
Yeah.
But as long as you're in a a great headspace and you're making the best decisions, trust your fate.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening, because before I'd co-founded this business, I said to Nick, I've got a feeling something's on the verge here and I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
And then we'd formed this business. But to answer your question, we've got plans to build this business. The whole idea of it is to build it and exit. You know, we're in a space where nobody else is doing it. And then with my line of work, just carry on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I've moved. So I know we're short on time here, but why I love what I'm doing now. So I don't just do the graphic design stuff anymore. I do positioning, do messaging, help people with the content strategies. But what I love about it now is I've spent all my life not knowing who I am, being lost, feeling like I've been dropped on the wrong planet, not having a place in this world. Now, how good is it for me now to help businesses stand out against hundreds of other businesses offering something similar?
And there's living proof of it.
No, but I mean, that's a design. But I mean, I did some work recently for a client and she was like, "You just made me cry.
Wow.
Like, this is my business and this is what I do." But the way that you voiced it,
Told a story.
That's what I always wanted. Like, nobody else is doing it this way. So
You must love that for gratification point of view. Someone saying that you've changed their life, you changed the brand. It's a massive dopamine hit.
I've spent all my life being lost, and now I help people get found.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so
We could go. We literally, I would love to do another hour. But thanks ever so much for coming on, and I appreciate you being vulnerable with us. Thanks. Yeah. Cheers. That's it. Keep waving, rolling the cameras. Keep waving.
there we go.
Mate, that was class.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good, mate. Oh.